Hey, it's the Worth Playboy.
And my Playboys Bunny.
Welcome to our podcast where we discuss pickup, game, relationships, and...
Sex. Or, if you're going to fuck this up, lack of sex.
Yeah. If you're fucking this up, you will be missing out on sex. For sure. Topics to avoid on a first date. And really, the first 2 or 3 dates. You know, you want to keep it... And this comes under the fun guy, hypothesis. Girls... they need some levity. They need something lighthearted, and they're used to guys being super serious. And so avoiding these topics can avoid bad vibes.
Well, and that's the big thing is it's not that you have to be the court jester. No. It's not that you have to be the entertainer. It's that she has to have good feelings associated with her time with you.
Exactly.
So if you avoid certain topics or things like that, then it'll decrease the likelihood that there are bad vibes.
And girls don't want to talk about this stuff anyway. They want to have fun.
Yeah.
So if you can avoid these topics, the topics that you're left with, generally, they'll have a good time.
And some of these topics girls will bring up. Make no mistake, some of them girls will actually bring up, and you think that they want to talk about them because they think that they want to talk about them, but they don't really want to talk about them.
Or their girlfriends have said, I said this to this guy, and then I knew he wasn't for me.
Yeah.
Because they'll even try to disqualify you. Make no mistake, they want you to win.
Yeah.
I always tell guys, your mindset is, this girl has bought a new dress.
Yeah.
She took off work early. She's been thinking about this for a couple days.
Absolutely, we have.
2 hours to get ready, then drive over, then pay to park, and then walk in to meet you. You know, she's hoping this will end in sex.
Yeah.
So what do you always say? It'll be her last.
Every girl's hoping that this first date is her last first date.
So in no particular order.
Yeah.
The highest ones being, we'll try to start with the big ones. Avoid politics.
Yes, I know that's hard.
Especially during election years, just either be apolitical or avoid it at all costs. Even if she has blue hair, she has a Biden shirt on, or what? Even if you look like you're wearing a Trump hat, put it on backwards or inside out.
Hat.
Yeah, but politics, a lot of these politics, interest in music, her hobbies, when she's into you, all of that shit will fall away.
It's true. A lot of those kinds of things that she's so passionate about on her own because her last boyfriend was so passionate about it.
Yeah.
It tends to gear more towards whatever your taste of music is, your political leanings are, the way that you handle money or all kinds of things.
She will absorb your hobbies and interests. And it's funny because when I've put that tweet out, even girls react. They go, yeah, you're right.
Yeah.
I didn't realize I did that, and these are grown women.
Well, and that's a very common kind of observation that women make among one another is they'll say, yeah, when you're with a guy, you kind of turn into him.
Yeah. That's why they're probably a little bit more picky.
Yeah.
Because if they're going to stick around, they will pick up your habits. Again, girls are looking for a lifestyle they can plug into.
That's right.
But that's a little off topic. We might need to remember that down the road. But religion, politics, religion.
Yeah. The big ones.
Yeah. For a lot of guys, like Catholic or Jewish guys, that they can only go long term.
Yeah. Then it matters.
Yeah. A lot of that, or if you're in that realm where you need to find like a nice Jewish girl, we respect that, But you should be screening that before you get to the meetup.
Yeah, you're likely not on a meetup in the first place if she doesn't already fit that criteria.
Yeah, and if that's what you're looking for, if you're looking for a good time, it's not really that important.
No.
And none of this is actually that important on the first date because really you're just trying to move to sex.
Yeah.
Because then it's sex first, relationship, maybe.
Maybe,
if everything works out. Politics, religion, don't only talk about yourself. Have good questions.
Yeah.
I have 2 pages of open-ended questions in my manual, How to Build Your Dating System.
Yes.
That I actually carry around in my pocket when I was back in the game and would refer to in the bathroom if I had to.
Yeah.
If I was running out of things. And nobody ever knew any different.
No.
And you'll memorize it over time.
Sure.
Or you'll learn how to like improvise off of what she's telling you.
Yeah.
But you have to have something. That's where lines come in.
Well, and I will say, I mean, for you in particular, you've been now a personal trainer for what, 35 years or so? Like, you talk to people constantly for decades, and yet you still sometimes run through stuff. So you kind of don't want to be flat-footed. So even you, who had all of this experience talking to women all the time, you still had to have these kinds of things and these kind of reminders to keep yourself on track and in date mode.
Yeah. And again, like, what are you passionate about? You can't be kids are your job.
Yeah.
It makes them think.
Yeah.
They're like, shit. And some of them go, well, thank God I'm out because I need to get out then. I haven't done anything.
Well, and I even did not too long ago an email on just like 20 great first date questions.
Yes.
It's like, they compliment your list a lot, but it's this open-ended stuff that goes a long way.
Money, I wouldn't go too deep into it.
No.
Even your job, a lot of guys are extremely excited about their career.
Yeah.
No one else is. And nothing, even astronauts, surgeons, a little bit about your job and then move on to something else. She'll ask, but just keep it pretty light and make whatever you do, God knows if it's hard enough as it is, it comes easy to you.
Yeah.
It's like I own a gym. I walk in the evening, I shake hands, I pat some backs, I kiss babies, and I tell my clients how good they look, and then I leave. That's your job.
Right.
So you try to drill it down to the most basic things that you do at your job, and it makes it look easy. But she can talk about her career all she wants.
And she will.
Yeah.
And make your job sound exciting and fun.
Yeah, exactly.
Like it's easy for you, it's fun, it comes naturally.
I don't think about it much.
Yeah.
Whatever it needs to be. Because it's not that important on your first date. Exes. This is a big one.
Huge.
Guys have, we know girls that guy starts crying.
Oh my gosh.
On the first date, talking about his ex-wife, ex-girlfriend. You're like, well, that's over.
Yeah.
There's never going to be a second date or anything.
Never.
It's over.
But whether it's good, bad, or indifferent, don't dwell on it. Don't dwell on past relationships.
And don't let her kind of drag you into it, because some girls will, out of a little bit of sadism, kind of like pull it out of them. And it's not a good idea. And just like every man, especially if you're in the adult world and you're divorced, they'll say, well, what happened?
Yeah.
They want to know, did you cheat? Did she cheat?
Yeah.
And I always say, well, we grew apart and we went our separate ways. I wish her the best.
Yeah.
And you move on and you change the subject. You know,
it's good to say something like, if you have kids or something, say, we have a great working relationship.
Yeah.
Something real positive, upbeat, but not giving it any weight.
Healthy women will respond with, well, it didn't work out, but we have 4 beautiful children.
Yes.
That's where you'll get the, you can get a gauge of where she's at mentally.
That's a huge one.
And again, it doesn't really matter how bad it was.
No, it doesn't have to be true.
No.
You may hate each other.
Yeah.
You may think that she was Satan incarnate. It doesn't matter.
And again, don't bring up relationships. Relationships are girl business.
Yeah.
Guys never need to bring up relationships in a conversation or at any time.
Yeah.
That's her business. Men are about planning the logistics of getting together and sex.
Yes.
And girls take care of relationship stuff. She'll tell you about all that. Or marriage, I would.
And that goes for future planning too. There are a lot of even guys on dating apps, social media kind of stuff, who will be pushing they're looking for Miss Right, or they're looking LTRs only. Even gentlemen will say this, and you're like, whoa. Even the greatest long-term relationships still have to start casually, because because otherwise you're putting long-term plans on someone that you do not know. So even talking about men and women will talk quite quickly about how many kids they want, where they would like to get married, all kinds of really, really 2 years in conversations they'll try to have on the first date or in the first few weeks of knowing each other.
I think women do try to fast track this.
Yeah.
They want these longer, deeper conversations.
Yeah.
But they don't really know the guy, and he sure doesn't know her.
No.
So he doesn't know what to do with it.
But people will put a lot of long-term expectations on people that are complete strangers, really.
True. Absolutely.
And then be disappointed that it doesn't work out. It's like, what?
Yeah, it doesn't work that way.
No.
All relationships start out as casual sex. They all start as casual sex and then develop over time.
Yeah.
And that's where people get into trouble. They think the cart goes before the horse.
Yeah.
Avoid work drama.
Yeah.
That goes, again, with saying, keep job talking to a minimum. Don't get drunk. Yeah. You're responsible for your intake and hers. So do even if you're having a good time and you bounce to the second location, things can go south.
Yeah.
Because you can go from we're going to fuck to carrying her and putting her into a car and sending her home, or having to put her into an Uber and you ride with her while she throws up and you drop her at her house.
Yeah.
And then you Uber back. It's
none of that's
never good. You're responsible for her. So the drinking, and again, every woman above the age of 18 has dealt with an alcoholic, be it her dad, grandfather, brother, best friend, guy she's gone out with. So they're on high alert for any signs of alcoholism.
Yes.
So if you show up to the date drunk, things are not going to go well.
Yeah.
And if you do get fucked up, it's not going to end well.
No.
So you're responsible both for your intake and her intake.
And keep in mind that she likely has not eaten much at all during the day. And so the alcohol, even if she's a seasoned drinker, the alcohol is going to hit her harder on date days, on that first date day, because she hadn't been eating. She wants to look good. She wants to feel slim. So she doesn't want to be bloated. So that alcohol is going to hit her fast and hard. So what we like to do is we like to suggest meeting for drinks, but having some kind of appetizer along the way so that you've got some food in the system to kind of help balance that out a little bit.
And we'll let this one be the last one because we could go on. These are the big ones. Everything else can be pretty much, adjusted according to needs. For men, it's revealing too much about yourself.
Oh, man, guys, do this. Man.
The golden rule, 2/3. For every 3 words, you say 2. And Bunny says that's still too many.
I think that's still too much.
Let her talk.
Yeah.
She's going to think you're the most interesting man on earth.
It's true.
All you have to do is give them prompts. But that's where knowing the right questions to ask.
Yeah.
To get her talking, and then you can work off of that. And one of it's a horrible trick because it says you don't talk about children here. And I find it interesting because knowing moms, and you can do this when you're in your 40s and 50s. If I got stuck, I would ask her about her kids because women love to talk about their kids.
Yes.
And that would buy me time.
Absolutely.
To go to the next. And it's interesting. It kind of balances out this guy fucks everything that moves.
Yeah.
He's also kind of has a background in family, so he can do both. You want to show a little contrast.
Yeah.
But again, if you get stuck and they have children, you can't where do they go to high school? And they'll tell you, and you might very well know someone.
What sports are they in?
Yeah.
That's always a good question for guys to
ask.
That's because guys have some
background
knowledge of sports stuff. But the main thing is avoiding negative topics. And all of these are all these that we've talked about today are like landmine topics that it's just safer to avoid because they can go negative really quickly. It's kind of like throwing a grenade into the conversation. If it explodes, it fucks everything up.
Everybody suffers.
Yeah.
It's not, nobody wins in that case. And landmines is the best way to look at this. You might step on it and it doesn't go off.
Yeah.
But the likelihood is not high. It's going to go off.
Yeah.
You know, and now you're going home alone.
Exactly.
You know?
It's just not fun.
No, you want both of you to win, and that's by ending up in bed together.
Yeah. Yeah. If you like this podcast, please like, subscribe, share with your friends. If you want that list of topics and open-ended questions and ways to make sure that your dates are planned to a T, Build Your Dating System by the Worth Playboy is the book to get. Also, get on each of our newsletter lists because we put out a lot of really hard-hitting, excellent content. I think that we put our best effort into those newsletters, into those emails. So if you want the best of us, it's a great way to play. And those links are all in the description box down below. We want you to win. Bye!